Welcome back. So we haven't done a climb with me or anything really like that in a minute, and I want to have a little bit of fun today, so we're going to try some stuff on tension, we're going to try some stuff on the boulder, and I'm going to be picking stuff, this is more for intermediate learning, but also maybe you just have fun watching these. So either way, let's get climbing. Okay, so this first one I want to talk about, I'm just looking at it, it's, we'll say roughly a 4. And I'm trying to think about how to read this. Now, the thing about reading something, now this isn't an actual tension one, this is what somebody came up with. Obviously, they want something right up here, it looks like. Right, but if I look at that, that's gonna put me in a weird position on this left. I may have to lay back. This is a pretty small foot to be doing that kind of movement off of. This is a pretty big hold and I can pinch it. So maybe I can do that, matching, and come up. But then I gotta think about the next sequence. So as I back up a little bit and I try to see the next sequence looks like it's gotta have a right up there in order to go left. Okay, now to get that right, I want pressure out here to be able to make that move. As far as I know, tension, you can step on the hands. So I'll have a good left foot for this. It's just gonna be getting up there. It's gonna require my left hand on this, which means my initial thought may have to be the way it goes. The tricky thing here, there's a lot of rubber on these starting holds, and it makes me wonder if I'm gonna have a little trouble with that. Some of the things I noticed immediately about that is that the first move, right, there's only one foot, so you kind of have to smear on the baseboard. And this particular board just doesn't have as much baseboard as some others, so you have to be a little careful there because it gets a little dabby. But it was exactly, as I said the first time, crossover move. Does that mean it's the only way to do it? No. And you know what, I'm gonna try something maybe a little bit different to see if I can do some other things in that sequence, maybe other than what they intended. Didn't work. That's something that I just want to get used to trying, is like, is there another way to do this other than the intended or other than what worked for me last time? A lot of times I want to have like 2-3 ways up. It's harder on kilter and tension boards because obviously it's a little more selective angle and holds, but still something to play with. All right, so this one has a lot of complexity to it. It's got lots of good feet. It's got a nice side pulling move. There's a lot of different possibilities with this one. And that's what makes it interesting, is it has all these different options. All right, let's try. obviously I was trying something a little bit like kind of weird. Probably I should have just gone in a different sequence. But one of the things I am trying to work on is pianoing on and off holds, because I have kind of big hands and I want to be able to perfect that move a little bit. So this was a good place to try it. And that's kind of the fun that you want to have with tension, is especially on the lower grades. You know, I think this is like a 3 or something like that. Try different beta, right? Even if you're strong, you can try this a lot, but especially as you're trying to push into the mid grades, I think it's very important to try different ideas, not just what the setter probably intended there, but seeing what can I get away with. That's an important question, because if you can break the beta, that's you, that counts. You know what I mean? It just doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to do the beta, but there's a lot of times beta breaks may actually make it easier for you. And you know, when you're talking about real rock climbing and how this translates to rock, that's an important thing, right? You can't really break the beta on rock. It is whatever you can climb. All right, so what are we looking at with this one? We've got a left move, big right, looks like a big right again, and then a left right move. This is Ian, so I know he's really strong at this kind of stuff. I'm just looking at this first move wondering, can I make this and then come across? Or should I start with this and go out here? Two slightly different ideas, but maybe both achieve the same end. All right, well, there's only one way to find out, right? So let's take a look at it. Okay, so high left to begin with. So that was really fun. This is actually by one of this gym setters. I believe this is Dust Storm. And at 20, this is nice reach. I think more overhang, I'd be even more scared of this, which makes it really fun. But that move, as I suspected, going here straight out is too reachy at this kind of angle. At least too much for me. My legs get in the way too much. But that's a different kind of feeling. And forcing this left hang was really good. I think the up move, lock off, felt nice. Repositioning on the only 2 feet available, well, yeah, he forced that pretty well. So I don't see any beta breaks on this one, but really fun for a V5, so cool. All right, so this first one we're gonna talk about is the screen one. And I just think this is a good example of a place where I've seen a lot of different beta on it to go up. And there's a lot of different options right off the start. So here, come take a look. Ooh, sorry, I felt some tension in my bicep there. So with this one, obviously we've got an angled start. We do have a little offshooting one here that's pretty good. And it has some nice movements up to here. Pinching, looks like it's gonna be a match pinch. There's a little handhold right up there on top of the feature, and move it up. There's some variance, but most of the variance I've seen is in the middle areas here. On this one, instead of going up, so That's weird. Felt like I kind of stretched something earlier and I'm trying to protect that, but we found a new beta in this because the normal pressure, right, it kind of lets you cheat here by stepping on the starter hold from that sideways angle and reaching up by using that more Egyptian position. So that's just a small example, like it goes either way, but you can vary up what you're trying to do and how you can break the beta.
That looks hard though.
I know, we'll find out. Just noticing again, and I think this is a thing that I'm finding more and more with these kind of problems, is even though it seems really straightforward, little details like where your shoulders, where your knees, how are you balancing, can take it from the 5 to the 4, right? When you're talking about circuit grading, that's actually a really big thing, is that yeah, we might intend it to be like a 4, but if you're inefficient, you can make it into a 5. If you're really efficient, you might actually be able to make it lower than that. All right, so this one is my last 4 or 5, so I'm gonna say probably more on the 4-y side, but it's got really big holds all the way up, really good feel to it. It's just kind of reachy, kind of steppy. If you're asking like, well, big holds, is it really that great? My argument would just be angle, right? This is a seriously overhanging portion of the wall going onto a slightly overhanging portion of the wall. And once you're at the slightly overhanging, it gets pretty flat. So I'd say it's about on point for the grade. But that said, let's see if there's any ways to break, which I'm gonna say probably not. In this one, just looking at it, I think they've made that pretty hard. See, it's that tension that has to come up there. So yeah, it kind of matches expectations. The last couple of moves are tough. They require some good movement, but there for the grade. And no real breaks that you can find, which again is just a mark of good setting. Okay, so we gotta finish up, and there's a lot of things I could take away from today. I think about it, you know, like what do I take away from any given day? Today, it was that there are definitely ways to force movements, but I was still able to cheat some and kind of move through some in ways that worked better for me. And I'm gonna keep exploring that. And that's, again, I wanted to make a quick video about this, but also have a little fun, climb with me, stuff like that. There is a lot more coming, so please, if you get a chance, don't forget to subscribe. If you have questions or suggestions for future video, I'm really open to what we do on this channel. It's been a lot of fun so far. I know we're gonna be heading back to Ohio to try another gym there because that was really fun. I have my eyes on a few more gyms here in North Carolina this year as well. It's a slow collection, but we're gonna get through them all eventually. And a few other videos, but again, very open. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.